Governor Ron DeSantis back in Orlando Tuesday, this time to talk about the state's efforts to crack down on opioid trafficking. We're talking about fentanyl with the state's Assistance for Fentanyl Eradication, or SAFE grant program, touting thousands of arrests and seizures of hundreds of pounds of the drug. Our Brandon Spencer spoke to an opioid trafficking attorney about this change and joins us now in studio. And Brandon, what has this attorney noticed at his practice since the SAFE program has been in place?
Well, Curtis, the crackdown is real. The attorney that I spoke to, Rajan Joshi, tells me that an increase in mandatory minimums is now putting drug dealers behind bars for what amounts to just trace amounts of fentanyl. Crackdowns on fentanyl on the state and federal levels have led to some positive outcomes. The CDC says that since overdose deaths from synthetic opioids like fentanyl peaked in Florida in March 2022, the state has seen a decrease, mirroring a federal decrease. It has also led to an increase in arrest and drug seizures noted by attorney Rajan Joshi, who has said his phone has been ringing off the hook.
What I've seen is a lot more trafficking cases, a lot more thorough investigations.
Ever since the creation of the SAFE grant program in 2023, almost 200 investigations have led to more than 2,000 arrests as penalties for opioid trafficking has become harsher.
They could have, say, 10 grams of cocaine, and it could have a sprinkle of fentanyl. And, if they normally were arrested for just possession of cocaine, they could be getting probation. But now that there's fentanyl, that 10 grams gets them 7 years minimum in prison, up to 30 years.
In fact, 4 to 14 grams of fentanyl can lead to a fine and a minimum of 3 years in prison, with 28 or more grams resulting in a minimum of 25 years. Seminole County Sheriff Dennis Lima echoed the results of these crackdowns when he joined Governor DeSantis for a press conference Tuesday.
And in Seminole County alone, we've charged nearly 50 drug dealers with first-degree murder for dealing deadly doses of drugs on our street.
And while the sheriff feels Narcan has helped with the decrease in opioid overdose deaths, Joshi believes awareness of the consequences and penalties are a bigger factor.
Now, honestly, you can say, the drug dealers are being more responsible, but they are being more responsible on how they use it, because they don't want this getting, in the way of their business.
Now, Curtis, Joshi says that he knows that fentanyl is dangerous, deadly, and very addictive, but he believes there has to be some kind of balance when it comes to legislation, as he sees people suffering from addiction facing trafficking charges for small amounts of fentanyl they might not have known was even there. He also does not see the crackdown and task forces of fentanyl slowing down anytime soon, and as we should expect to continue to see more arrests, more penalties, and more RICO cases, Curtis.
All right, Brandon, we appreciate that coverage tonight. Thank you for starting us off tonight.